So good evening, namaskar to all of you. Dr. Srijit, whether slide is visible?
Sir,
Okay. Is it moving?
just now it is first slide. Just go to second, sir. Now,
This is first slide.
huh?
Going to second.
No, it didn't go.
Second
Now
slide
it
is
is
also
okay.
visible.
Second it has come. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I extend a warm welcome to our friends and colleagues from Press and Electronic Media for today's press conference. Today's press conference will be mainly based on the winter temperature and rainfall forecast for the month of December and also for the season December to February. As all of us know that day before just yesterday, there was a press release by World Meteorological Organization in COP28 regarding the current status of the climate. So I'll also dwell upon, because there has been a number of queries about that, about the current status with respect to India especially. Then we'll be discussing about what has happened during the month of November in terms of the severe weather, in terms of the monthly pattern. Then we'll discuss about the projections, that is a prediction for the month of December and December to February. And finally, we'll discuss about the current situation in the region, especially with respect to the tropical cyclone, which is going to develop over the Bay of Bengal. Now let us look at the global air temperature. This is the slide on the left-hand side, which shows the global mean temperature difference as compared to 1850 to 1900. You will find that there is a continuous rise in temperature. Of course, there is some year-to-year variations, but there is a trend, and the trend is very severe or very fast, you can say, after 1980. The global mean temperature anomaly up to, say, for example, October, if we just think of in 2023, it was around 1.4 plus minus 0.12 degrees Celsius above the 1850 to 1900 average. So based on data of October, it is virtually certain that 2023 may be the warmest year in the 174 years of observations in record of WMO, surpassing the previous joint warmest year like 2016 at 1.29 plus minus 12 degrees Celsius above 1850-900 average, and 2020 at 1.27 plus minus 0.13 degrees Celsius. So this is just projection, but actual figure will be known only after the end of the year. The past 9 years, you will find 2015, 2023, it will be the 9 warmest years in the record. So if you just look at the temperature distribution during this period, 1991-2023 comparison, you will find that many parts of the globe are warmer than the period considering that 1991-2020. Now, this is the all India temperature for the year 2023. If I look at all India average temperature in terms of the maximum temperature, what we find that it is in the month of February, if you all remember, it was the warmest, and it was a first rank in the period of data from 1901 onwards. And similarly, in the month of August also, it was the rank 1 since 1901. In September, rank 2, October, rank 3, November, rank 3. So November has been the third highest maximum temperature since the record of 1901. That's what I want to highlight. Then if you consider January-February season, it was number 4 last January-February. And monsoon season was the second rank in terms of the seasonal mean temperature. But if you look at the minimum temperature, it was 5th in the rank in February, and second in July, August, and first in September, and third in November. So again, just like maximum temperature, minimum temperature was the third highest for the country as a whole. Taking the mean of the two, that is called the mean temperature, you will find that November has been the first rank for this particular year, considering data of 1901 onwards. So February was second, and August, September was also the first rank in the data of 1901 onwards. October it was cooler, but November again it has become the first rank holder in terms of the mean temperature. Now let us look at the temperature distribution. What happened in the month of November? If you just look at the top panel is the temperature actual, and the bottom panel is the deviation or anomaly, you can say, from the normal. So if I just look at the deviation, you will find that minimum temperature has been warmer in almost most part of the country, you can say, and the mean temperature is also has been warmer than the normal in most parts of the country. But maximum temperature, it is below normal to some extent or normal to some extent in the northwest India. Otherwise, remaining parts of the country again, it was the above normal. Now let us look at this temperature for November. I have already told this for all India. That is the third rank holder in terms of maximum temperature and minimum temperature in the data of 1901 onwards. But mean temperature is the first rank holder. If I consider the different homogeneous regions as we discussed for long range forecast, that is northwest India, east and northeast India, central India, and south peninsular India. The northwest India, it is the third rank holder for minimum temperature, that is the warmer, but maximum temperature it was not warm so far because there was a good rainfall activity in northwest India because of the western disturbances. And mean temperature was 7th rank. So therefore northwest India. So if I look at east and northeast India where rainfall was quite less, so there maximum temperature was quite high. It was the rank 1, but minimum temperature was rank 6 and mean temperature was rank 2. So central India, of course, it is not any record-breaking temperature this year in the month of November. South peninsular India, if you just look at the minimum temperature was, you can see it was the warmest, and it is mainly because there was cloudiness and the mean temperature, therefore it was the warmest. Now let us look at the rainfall during the post-monsoon season. In the post-monsoon season, you will find that the west coast, extreme south peninsula, northwest India, and foothills of the Himalayas. Subdivisions, the foothills of the Himalayas around eastern India, northeastern states have got good rainfall activity. Although central India, northern peninsula, north interior peninsula have got deficient rainfall. For the country as a whole, if I just look at 1st October to 30 November, so far it is minus 18.8%. So that is about minus 19%, 19% below the long period average. But northwest India has been excess, that is 34.7, and central India, especially as you can see, it is 37.5% deficient. South peninsula also 31.1% deficient. But Tamil Nadu and Kerala, which are usually the states which get good rainfall activity in northeast monsoon, that has got the normal to excess rainfall activity during October to November. Okay. Especially consider November month, you will find their country as a whole it was 16%. If you remember the definition what we gave earlier, so it is considered as normal. We predicted normal rainfall activity for November. It has become the normal rainfall for the country as a whole. But rainfall in east and northeast India in the month of November has been less, that is 37% below normal. It is an excess in central India in the month of November. And why it became excess in central India, that I will explain you afterwards. It was mainly because of the interaction of the western disturbance and the easterly wave in the last week, if you remember, 25 to 28 November, when Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Gujarat, they got very heavy rainfall activity, and that actually led to this type of excess rainfall for central India. Of course, northwest India also got good rainfall because of the western disturbance. That we'll discuss it later in the presentation. Now, this is the November rainfall activity. You can find that there was, you can say, two important spells. One is around, say, 4th to 9th or 10th, you can say, that week, 4th, 10th of November. It was a very good rainfall activity. And then from 22nd November onwards, also, it was a good rainfall activity. So, because of the western disturbance. Now, this is the case of all India. Similar is the case with South Peninsula also. You will get South Peninsula activity. Also, there are two such spells. In the beginning, that is around 6 to 10, and in the end, that is around 22nd to 30th. Now, let us look at what is the forecast for November and what happened actually. If I look at the left-hand side diagram, that is the observed rainfall activity. But you find that there was normal to excess rainfall activity in the western parts of the country, starting with extreme South Peninsula up to Gujarat and Rajasthan, and then Punjab and adjoining MP, etc. But as for the forecast, you will find that that distribution could not be picked up well, except on the Karnataka and Kerala and extreme Tamil Nadu. It was good, but the excess rainfall activity, what occurred in the middle part of the country, that's the central part of the country, because of western disturbance, that could not be predicted well. Or the eastern part of the country, as for prediction, it has come well. Now let us look at the temperature forecast. If I look at the actual temperature, what happened in the left-hand side diagram, you will find that, as I was explaining a little earlier, it was above normal temperature except northwest India and adjoining central India, west central India, where temperature were below normal or normal. And forecast, if you just look at, you will find that most parts of the country we predicted that it will be above normal temperature, except some parts of the west central India and northwest India. So therefore, I will say the maximum temperature forecast has come up very well and very correct as for the prediction. Now let us look at the minimum temperature. If I look at the minimum temperature actual, if you find entire country was above normal in the month of November, and forecast was also like that. It will be above normal. There was a high probability that temperature will be above normal, minimum temperature. So therefore, minimum temperature being above normal across the country was very correctly predicted for the month of November. Now, let us look at what happened for this good rainfall activity in the month of November. As I was telling you, so there were two systems, low pressure system mainly. One was 15 to 18 November, and the Ulmar low pressure area from 30th November. It has started giving good rainfall activity, and which is expected to become a cyclone as for the forecast that we will see. The Meridional oscillation was in phase 2 and phase 3, which is good for rainfall activity for the peninsular India. It has given good rainfall activity in the peninsular India also. And there was another cyclone in the month of November that is called Midili, that crossed near Khepupara, Bangladesh. You can see the track on the right hand side. We'll discuss a little more afterwards. So that also caused good rainfall activity over Mizoram, Tripura, and some parts of northeastern states. So these are therefore the summary of there were 3 low pressure systems, including one over Arabian Sea and 2 over Bay of Bengal, and the low over Southeast Arabian Sea that moved to Southwest Arabian Sea, that is 8 to 12 November. Cyclone Midili over Bay of Bengal, it crossed near Khepupara. The low pressure area over South Andaman Sea that developed in 27 gave good rainfall activity over Andaman Nicobar Islands, and now it is moving towards the east coast, especially the Andhra Pradesh coast. So 5 western disturbances developed, but out of that, as I was telling you, 2 weeks, 6 to 9, that got good rainfall activity because of the western disturbance, as I have shown you a little earlier. And 22 onwards, we get good rainfall activity because of the 2 consecutive western disturbances. One was the 25 to 28, another is 29 to 30. As of today, there is the western disturbance affecting the northwest India. So these 2 western disturbances caused good rainfall activity over northwest India and the central India in interaction with the easterly waves. And whenever these 2 types of easterly waves and western disturbance interact, it leads to devastating weather, and we could predict that devastating weather 3 to 4 days ahead, especially for Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Gujarat. And in addition to that, also there was rain and snowfall activity in the western Himalayan region, and rainfall activity for Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi, and Uttar Pradesh also. Now, this is the track of Cyclone Midili, which developed towards the Andaman Sea, and then it took a recurvic track and went towards the Bangladesh coast. It crossed Bangladesh coast, and we provided all forecast to Bangladesh, and there was no loss of lives because of this one. Continuously, information are provided, and because the system also, we got some rainfall activity over northeastern states. Now, these are the forecast. You can just imagine. This is the black line is the forecast track, and black line is the actual track, and red line is the forecast track. So, very well, the track could be predicted, and information could be provided to Bangladesh for management of this cyclone. Now, let us look at the heavy rainfall activity in November. If you just look at this past 5 years data, if you just look at this year, there was very heavy rainfall activity in 42 occasions and extreme heavy rainfall activity for 1 occasion only. As compared 2021, very heavy rainfall activity was 168, and So it was very disastrous November in 2021. But this year, as compared to that, heavy rainfall frequency has been quite less, and extreme heavy rainfall is just one case, and that occurred in extreme South Peninsula. But if you just look at left-hand side diagram, you can find that mainly the South Peninsula India, because of northeast monsoon conditions, got heavy to very heavy rainfall activity and isolated extremely heavy rainfall activity. And central India, especially, as I've discussed a little earlier, that Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra got heavy rainfall activity because of the interaction between western disturbance and the easterly waves. Now let us look at the global circulation features like El Nino and southern oscillation. What you can find in this diagram that yes, it is warmer. If you see that central equatorial Pacific or east equatorial Pacific, they are quite warm. And in the recent week, you will find that it is 2.1 degrees Celsius warmer for Nino 3.4 region, which matters for the Indian region. And equatorial SSTs in general were above the average over central and eastern Pacific Ocean, in the western Indian Ocean, and across much of the Atlantic Ocean, equatorial SSTs were below average in the central and eastern Indian Ocean. So you can find out here in the Indian Ocean what is happening actually. The warming which is taking place in the west equatorial Indian Ocean, that is reducing gradually, and therefore the positive Indian Ocean dipole which was prevailing, that is weakening in this entire. So this is the ENSO forecast. You can see based on the initial condition of November, you will find that ENSO intensity is expected to decrease. And by the time we enter towards the monsoon season, you will find that the neutral condition is expected. So the long-term forecast or the outlook for the ENSO says that in the next monsoon season, we should not have the El Nino condition, it should have the neutral conditions. Similarly, if I look at the Indian Ocean dipole, you will find that most of the models are indicating that the Indian Ocean dipole will be neutral conditions. Only one you can find that is exceeding 0.4, which is the threshold to declare the positive Indian Ocean dipole. So therefore, positive Indian Ocean dipole, which is now prevailing in the equatorial Indian Ocean, is likely to weaken and become the neutral by end of December. Now, this is our own model. This was the similar thing that we have the weakening trend for ENSO and also the weakening trend for the positive Indian Ocean dipole. This is the Southern Oscillation Index, which is the difference of the pressure at Tahiti and pressure at Darwin. It is the negative Southern Oscillation Index, which is in conformity with the El Nino conditions. While El Nino is the sea phenomena, Southern Oscillation is the atmospheric phenomena. So there is a coupling between atmosphere and ocean. So both are now reflecting. What I want to say that both have the ENSO condition. Therefore, together, that is warmer SST, and here it is PT minus PD, that is pressure at Tahiti, pressure at Darwin. The Southern Oscillation Index is negative. Now let us look at the forecast, seasonal temperature forecast for December to February. This, even though meteorologically we define winter season as January, February, but many parts of the country, you will find that winter commences from December itself. Even in November, also in South Peninsula India, in November itself, people feel like winter season. So we have taken consideration this fact, and we have prepared the forecast for the period December to February. On the left-hand side diagram, it is the minimum temperature forecast for December 2023, and right-hand side, this is the maximum temperature forecast for December 2023. So like November, for December also, the forecast says that the minimum temperature will be above normal for the most parts of the country, except a few parts of eastern and northeastern India. Everywhere, there is a high probability that the minimum temperature will be above normal over the South Peninsula India, that is red color, and adjoining East Central India. So it may be because of the fact that we are expecting the cyclone moving towards that. Once you have the cyclone, you have got the cloudy conditions, and therefore minimum temperature is expected to be above normal. At the same time, if you look at the maximum temperature is also expected to be above normal in most parts of the country, except some parts of Central India and North Peninsular India, and some parts of Andhra Pradesh. It is mainly because it is in agreement with what I explained to you. The tropical cyclone is moving towards Andhra Pradesh. Therefore, we are expecting rainfall activity over Andhra Pradesh and along the coast in some parts of Tamil Nadu and Odisha also, and Telangana also. So therefore, you find the green color there. So therefore, maximum temperature is expected to be below normal over this area. Now, let us look at the cold wave outlook. What will be the possibility of cold wave during the period of December to February? So if I look at, sorry. So, yeah, this one I have completed for December. In the title here, it is written December 20, but it actually December 23 to February 24 as written in the diagram itself. So please take a note. We will modify in the PPT when we will circulate. So these two diagrams, as I have discussed so far, it is for the period December 2023 to February 2024. So this is the cold wave outlook for the period December 2023 to February 2024. So what you say that over the extreme, over the northwest India, central India, eastern India, northeastern India, everywhere it is red color you're finding. Red color means it is below normal. That means cold wave conditions are likely to be less this year as compared to the normal. That means cold wave will be less intense, less frequent, and less durable during this season, December to February, as compared to the normal. So then comes the monthly outlook for temperature during December. On the left hand side, it is the minimum temperature, and right hand side, it is the maximum temperature. So just like November again, December is expected to be above normal temperature in most parts of the country. And similarly, maximum temperature also is expected to be above normal, but except some parts you can see in the northern peninsula and northwest India. So in general, it shows that December, even though there will be a cyclone crossing on the peninsular India across Andhra Pradesh, but still the monthly average, if you just look at, is expected to be above normal. Now let us look at the probability forecast for rainfall in December 2023. You can see in the left-hand side diagram, in most parts of northwest India and the adjoining central India and the adjoining eastern India, there is possibility that it will be above normal rainfall activity. Similarly, in the south peninsular India, especially Tamil Nadu, South Kerala, and parts of Andhra Pradesh, there also it is normal to above normal rainfall activity. As I was discussing, it could be because of the cyclone disturbance and the easterly wave in the south peninsular India, and over the northwest India, it could be because of the active western disturbance. That means this diagram suggests that there could be the active western disturbance in the month of December, which can cause good rainfall activity over northwest and adjoining central India. At the same time, the tropical cyclone activity or the low pressure system activity or the easterly waves can have good rainfall activity over the extreme south peninsula and Andhra Pradesh. Now, if I look at monthly rainfall, average rainfall for the south peninsular India, which we define for northeast monsoon, like 5 meteorological subdivisions, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, and Karaikal, coastal Andhra Pradesh, and Yanam, Rayalaseema, Kerala, and Mahe, and South Intercontinental. The average over this is likely to be normal for the month of December. The low pressure area, the long period average of the rainfall over the south peninsular India is about 43 millimeter based on data of 1971 to 2020. So that means it will be normal, that is 69 to 113%. You may say that why it is 69 to 113%? Because rainfall activity for the country as a whole in the month of December is quite rare. We do not get much rainfall activity. Therefore, the standard deviation, the variation from year to year is quite high. So we give our error limit based on that standard deviation or the coefficient of variation with respect to the normal. So therefore, this is about 31%. Long period average, if it is within 31% of long period average, it is called as the normal. So normal rainfall is 43, and we are expecting that it will be normal. Now, monthly rainfall for the country as a whole during December 2023, if we just look at, it is also expected to be above normal. That is more than 121%. Okay, and long period average for the country as a whole during the month of December is 15.9 mm. So I am discussing in two parts. One is the South Peninsular India, that 5 subdivisions where northeast monsoon causes good rainfall activity. That shows that it will be normal rainfall, and that normal rainfall is defined as 69% to 131%. Normally rainfall occurs 43 millimeter. It is expected to be within normal range. Another point I am discussing for the country as a whole. For the country as a whole, if I just consider, it is expected to be above normal. You can see it from this figure. It is expected to be above normal, mainly because of the western disturbance activity over the northwest and central India. So here, the normal rainfall is 15.9 millimeter, based on data of 1971 to 20, and rainfall is expected to be more than 121%. Here, normal is defined as the 21% plus minus from 100. So therefore, and that we should keep in mind. So above normal rainfall, as I told you, that is northwest India and in central and east India, we can expect. Northern peninsula, we can expect the below normal rainfall activity. Now, this is the extended range forecast. You can see the first week, that is up to 7th December, you can find out that there is a good rainfall activity along the coast, starting from extreme north Tamil Nadu to Andhra Pradesh, Odisha, then coastal area going to West Bengal, then Bangladesh, northern states. It's because the tropical cyclone is coming and it is recurving after having landfall over Andhra Pradesh towards northeast, and hence according to this type of rainfall pattern you can see here. And same is also shown in other diagram. And next week you will find that yes, there could be some other activity also moving towards Bangladesh or Myanmar. Otherwise, in our area we'll have normal rainfall activity. So there are 4 weeks forecast, and I'll suggest you to concentrate on 2 weeks. 2 weeks forecast is quite good. So this is the summary. Summary is that during the upcoming winter season, December to February, above normal minimum temperatures are likely over most parts of country, and also above normal maximum temperatures are likely over most parts of country, except some areas of central and northwest India, where it could be below normal. The occurrence of cold wave conditions over northwest and central, east and northeast India are expected to be below normal this year. And monthly temperature outlook, if I just look at for the month of December, then minimum temperatures are likely to be above normal in most parts of the country. Maximum temperatures are also likely to be above normal in most parts of the country, except some areas of central India and north India. And monthly rainfall outlook for December, if I just look at, it is expected to be above normal for the country as a whole and normal for the southeast peninsular India, that is the northeast monsoon region. Especially northwest India, central India, and adjacent areas of eastern India will have good rainfall activity, and also extreme south peninsular India. मैं अभी को हिंदी में बताऊंगा। दिसंबर से फरवरी के लिए ऋतुनिष्ठ न्यूनतम तापमान पूर्वानुमान देखें। ये चित्र से ये प्रमाणित होता है कि आगामी सर्दियों के मौसम के दौरान देश के अधिकांश हिस्सों में सामान्य से अधिक न्यूनतम तापमान होने की संभावना है। अभी मैं दिसंबर से फरवरी सीजन के लिए शीतलहर अवधि का मैं बात करूं तो शीतलहर इस बार जितना होता है सामान्यतः वहां से कम होने का संभावना है। और यूजुअली जब शीतलहर होता है वो नॉर्थ वेस्ट इंडिया, सेंट्रल इंडिया और ईस्टर्न इंडिया में देखने को मिलता है, और ये सभी एरिया में प्रोबेबिलिटी ही दिखाता है कि इस बार जितना होता है फ्रीक्वेंसी और इंटेंसिटी इससे कम हो सकता है। ये दिसंबर से फरवरी तक जो मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर है इसको हम देखें, ये सामान्य से ज्यादा अधिक रहने का संभावना है, अधिकतम तापमान, और केवल मध्य और उत्तर पश्चिम भारत के कुछ हिस्सों में, कुछ क्षेत्रों में छोड़ के वो सभी क्षेत्र जैसे यहाँ दिखाई दे रहे, जैसे कि ईस्ट राजस्थान, गुजरात रीजन, मेनी पार्ट्स ऑफ मध्य प्रदेश एंड तेलंगाना, नॉर्दर्न पार्ट्स ऑफ महाराष्ट्र, वहाँ आपका यह संभावना है कि नॉर्मल या बिलो नॉर्मल टेम्परेचर हो सकता है, मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर। अभी दिसंबर महीने का तापमान देखें तो न्यूनतम तापमान जो दिसंबर महीने का है ये पूर्वानुमान किया जाता है कि न्यूनतम तापमान सामान्य से अधिक रहने का सबसे अधिक संभावना है। और अधिकतम तापमान यानी मैक्सिमम टेम्परेचर की बात करें वो भी मोस्ट पार्ट्स ऑफ कंट्री में सामान्य से अधिक रहने का संभावना है। बस सिर्फ कुछ हिस्से को छोड़कर जो कि है महाराष्ट्र की कुछ हिस्सा और तेलंगाना की कुछ हिस्सा, जैसे राजस्थान, पंजाब, हरियाणा और जम्मू कश्मीर की कुछ हिस्सा, जहां नॉर्मल या नहीं तो बिलो नॉर्मल अधिकतम तापमान होने का संभावना है। बारिश की बात करें, दिसंबर 2023 का जो बारिश का संभावना है, इसमें दिखाई देता है कि जैसे उत्तर पश्चिम भारत और पश्चिम केंद्रीय भारत और पूर्व केंद्रीय भारत, पूर्वी भारत को ज्यादातर हिस्से में सामान्य से अधिक बारिश होने का संभावना है, और जो पॉसिबल होगा जब आपका वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस ज्यादा होगा और इंटेंस होगा। ये संभावना है कि वेस्टर्न डिस्टर्बेंस ज्यादा होगा, इसीलिए इसी तरीके का पूर्वानुमान है। इसके साथ साथ जो एक्सट्रीम साउथ पेनिनसुलर इंडिया है, जैसे केरल है और साउथ तमिलनाडु और सेंट्रल तमिलनाडु है, वहां भी वर्षा सामान्य से अधिक रहने का संभावना है। और जो नॉर्थ पेनिनसुलर और एडजॉइनिंग सेंट्रल इंडिया है, वहां रेनफॉल बिलो नॉर्मल होने का संभावना है। मगर हम कंट्री एज ए होल की बात करें दिसंबर महीना के लिए, जो बारिश वो ये पूर्वानुमान किया जाता है कि सामान्य से अधिक रहेगा। और मैं सिर्फ साउथ ईस्ट पेनिनसुलर इंडिया जो 5 सब डिवीजन है, जैसे कि आंध्र प्रदेश, तमिलनाडु, पुडुचेरी, साउथ इंटर कर्नाटक, कोस्टल कर्नाटक एंड केरला, ये सभी इलाका में अभी दिसंबर महीना में सामान्यतः जितना बारिश होता है इतना बारिश होने का संभावना है। सामान्यतः इस इलाके में 43 मिलीमीटर बारिश होता है, और हम इसको नॉर्मल बारिश बोलते हैं, जबकि दीर्घावधि का 69% से 131% के बीच में बारिश होता है। और पूरी कंट्री का बारिश इस बार 121% से ज्यादा होने का संभावना है। 121% के अंदर होने से माने प्लस माइनस 21% दीर्घावधि का होने से इसको नॉर्मल या सामान्य वृष्टि बोला जाता है। और दिसंबर महीना में 121% से ज्यादा बारिश होने का संभावना है। अभी ताजा स्थिति जो है हमारा वेदर के बारे में आपको बताऊंगा। सबसे बड़ा स्थिति यही है कि एक डिप्रेशन आज फॉर्मेशन हुआ है। 27 तारीख एक लो प्रेशर एरिया डेवलप हुआ था साउथ अंडमान सी में। वो धीरे धीरे पश्चिम उत्तर पश्चिम दिशा में गति करते हुए 5 दिसंबर अर्ली मॉर्निंग में यानी 5:30 IST में एक डिप्रेशन में परिणत हुआ साउथ ईस्ट और एडजॉइनिंग साउथ वेस्ट बंगाल पर, और अभी भी एक डिप्रेशन जैसा है। और ये लगभग पुडुचेरी से 730 किलोमीटर ईस्ट साउथ ईस्ट में केंद्रीभूत है, और बापटला से 930 किलोमीटर है। मछलीपट्टनम से भी दूरी में है, अभी लगभग 1000 किलोमीटर। चेन्नई से 740 किलोमीटर ईस्ट साउथ ईस्ट में अभी केंद्रीभूत है। आप इस उपग्रह से प्राप्त चित्र से देख पाएंगे कैसे क्लाउड कंप्लीटली साउथ बे ऑफ बंगाल और एडजॉइनिंग सेंट्रल बे ऑफ बंगाल में कवर्ड है। ये हमारा आज पूर्वानुमान है। ये पूर्वानुमान के हिसाब से धीरे धीरे ये जो डिप्रेशन उत्तर पश्चिम दिशा में गति करते हुए कल तक एक डीप डिप्रेशन में परिणत होगा, और परसों तक यानी 3 दिसंबर मॉर्निंग पे एक साइक्लोन स्टॉर्म में परिणत हो सकता है। और ये साइक्लोन स्टॉर्म के हिसाब से धीरे धीरे फिर घनीभूत होते रहेगा, मानी इसका इंटेंसिटी बढ़ता रहेगा। और 4 तारीख सुबह एक्सट्रीम नॉर्थ तमिलनाडु और साउथ आंध्र प्रदेश की कोस्ट के पास ये केंद्रीभूत होगा। तब इसका विंड स्पीड लगभग आपका 80 to 90 किलोमीटर पर आवर रहेगा। जब ये कोस्ट के आसपास आ रहे हैं, इसका विंड स्पीड 80 to 90 किलोमीटर पर आवर, गस्टिंग टू 100 किलोमीटर पर आवर हो सकता है। और ये जो आप लाइन देख रहे हैं जिसका एक्सपेक्टेड मूवमेंट जो ये सिस्टम का है, देखेंगे ये वेरी क्लोज टू कोस्ट है, इसलिए 4 तारीख सुबह से इसका जो लैंडफॉल का इम्पैक्ट है ये देखने को मिलेगा एक्सट्रीम नॉर्थ तमिलनाडु और साउथ कोस्टल आंध्र प्रदेश के पास। और जो लाइन यहाँ खींच कर जा रहे हैं आप देखेंगे ये लगभग बापटला के आसपास है ये पॉइंट। देयरफॉर हम बोले हैं कि ये नेल्लोर और मछलीपट्टनम के बीच में ये तट को पार कर सकता है, और इम्पैक्ट शुरू हो जाएगा 4 तारीख फॉरनून से, मगर ये जो तट को कंप्लीटली क्रॉस करेगा वो 5 तारीख फॉरनून में बापटला के आसपास मछलीपट्टनम और चेन्नई के बीच में हिट करेगा एज ए साइक्लोन स्टॉर्म। और मैक्सिमम विंड स्पीड इसका होगा 80 to 90, गस्टिंग टू 100 किलोमीटर पर आवर। ये हमारा विंड स्पीड फोरकास्ट है। आप देख पाएंगे विंड स्पीड फोरकास्ट के हिसाब से एंटायर साउथ वेस्ट बे ऑफ बंगाल और सेंट्रल बे ऑफ ईस्ट वेस्ट सेंट्रल बे ऑफ बंगाल डिस्टर्ब रहेगा। इसमें विंड स्पीड सबसे ज्यादा रहेगा और एक्सट्रीम नॉर्थ तमिलनाडु जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स है, जैसे चेन्नई से शुरू करके नॉर्थ में जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स हैं और पुडुचेरी से ऊपर है जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में आपका गेल विंड स्पीड 60 to 70 kmph विंड हो सकता है, मगर आंध्र प्रदेश कोस्ट के पास विंड स्पीड 80 to 90 गस्टिंग टू 100 km/h हो सकता है। इसके साथ साथ रिमेनिंग नॉर्थ कोस्टल तमिलनाडु का डिस्ट्रिक्ट के आसपास जो सी एरिया है वो स्क्वाली विंड रहेगा, और ये स्क्वाली विंड ओडिशा तट के तट तक यानी साउथ कोस्टल उड़ीसा तट तक भी रहेगा, और सबसे ज्यादा ये नुकसानदायक विंड की वजह से, रेनफॉल की वजह से आप देखेंगे ये कोस्टल आंध्र प्रदेश होने के ऊपर होने का संभावना है। अभी ये जो आप वायलेट कलर का ये एरिया देख रहे हैं, वो वायलेट कलर का एरिया का वो है विंड स्पीड इज 60 km/h, मोर देन 60 km/h, और ये जो एरिया आप देख रहे हैं ग्रे कलर का, यहाँ विंड स्पीड मोर देन 50 km/h। सो इसलिए हम वार्निंग नॉर्थ कोस्टल तमिलनाडु से शुरू करके हम वार्निंग दे रहे हैं आंध्र प्रदेश के लिए और साउथ उड़ीसा के लिए। इसके साथ साथ इसके एडजॉइनिंग जो सी एरिया है, आप जानकर खुश होंगे, ये जो अभी डिप्रेशन फॉर्मेशन हुआ है, जो साइक्लोन होने का संभावना है, इसका पूर्वानुमान पहले 17 तारीख को हम पूर्वानुमान दिए थे कि ऐसे एक डेवलपमेंट होने वाला है 30 नवंबर की वीक में। फिर इसको अपडेट किया हमने 24 तारीख को विद हाई प्रोबेबिलिटी दैट ऐसे एक डेवलपमेंट हो रहा है, जो कि अभी रियलाइज्ड हुआ है आज। सो ये भी आप जानकर खुश होंगे कि आजकल हम फोरकास्ट लो प्रेशर स्टेट से दे रहे हैं। लो प्रेशर स्टेट से फोरकास्ट पूरी दुनिया में कोई नहीं देता है, स्टेट डिपार्टमेंट दे रहे हैं, और इसको बोला जाता है कि प्री जेनेसिस फोरकास्ट। जेनेसिस होने से पहले हम इसका पूर्वानुमान करें। ये पूर्वानुमान आप देखें लो प्रेशर देकर हम दिए थे, और अकॉर्डिंगली अभी जो पूर्वानुमान था ऐसी ढंग से चल रहा है। ऑफकोर्स थोड़ी लेट हुआ है फॉर्मेशन ऑफ डिप्रेशन। हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे थे इनिशियली 29 को डिप्रेशन होगा, मगर डिप्रेशन आज सुबह बना है। सो दिस इज द वार्निंग, रेनफॉल वार्निंग। आज के लिए कोई रेनफॉल वार्निंग नहीं है आंध्र प्रदेश के लिए, और कल आइसोलेटेड हेवी रेनफॉल हो सकता है जैसे नेल्लोर प्रकाशम डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स वगैरह में, मगर 3 तारीख को बारिश होगा और वहां हेवी टू वेरी हेवी रेनफॉल होने का संभावना है ऑल द डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स ऑफ साउथ कोस्टल आंध्र प्रदेश। और इसके साथ साथ जो रायलसीमा डिस्ट्रिक्ट पास जैसे तिरुपति वगैरह में भी हेवी रेनफॉल एक्सपेक्टेड है। नाउ 4 तारीख को, डिसंबर 4 तारीख को इंटेंसिटी ऑफ रेनफॉल बढ़ेगा, और एक्सट्रीमली हेवी रेनफॉल यानी 20 सेंटीमीटर क्यों 25 सेंटीमीटर ज्यादा बारिश होने का संभावना है। और ये सभी डिस्ट्रिक्ट को रेड कलर में हम यहाँ दिखाए हैं। नेल्लोर से शुरू करके आप देखेंगे ये जा रहे हैं अप टू काकीनाडा एक्सेट्रा। 5 तारीख को फिर नॉर्थ कोस्टल आंध्र प्रदेश डिस्ट्रिक्ट में ज्यादा बारिश होगा, और साउथ कोस्टल आंध्र प्रदेश और रायलसीमा धीरे धीरे क्लियर होता रहेगा। सो दैट मीन्स 3 तारीख से 5 तारीख तक आंध्र प्रदेश के ऊपर हेवी रेनफॉल का डिवास्टेटिंग इंपैक्ट हो सकता है, क्योंकि ये जो हेवी टू वेरी रेनफॉल यानी एक्सट्रीम हेवी रेनफॉल भी हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं, इसमें फ्लड हो सकता है, फ्लैश फ्लड हो सकता है, इनंडेशन हो सकता है, और इसमें जो कच्चा हाउस अफेक्टेड हो सकता है, कच्चा रोड भी अफेक्टेड हो सकता है। सो इसीलिए हम लोग सावधान रहना चाहिए। नाउ एक मिनट। सो ठीक है। So this is the wind warning for Tamil Nadu day 3 and day 4। अब देखेंगे स्पेशली 3 and 4 दिसंबर में तमिलनाडु में जो एक्सट्रीम नॉर्थ डिस्ट्रिक्ट से कुडालूर से शुरू करके तिरुवल्लूर तक 3 तारीख को बारिश हो सकता है, हेवी रेन हो सकता है, हेवी रेनफॉल में। और आप 4 तारीख देखेंगे कि नॉर्थ में स्पेशली आप विल्लुपुरम से शुरू करके तिरुवल्लूर तक, और इसके अंदर आता है डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में आपका वेरी हेवी टू एक्सट्रीमली हेवी। So this is the rainfall warning for Tamil Nadu for previous days 1 to 4 December। so ये हम दिखा दिया है ऑलरेडी। सो ये विंड वार्निंग था। एक्चुअली विंड वार्निंग जो 60 to 70 km/h होगा, स्पेशली विल्लुपुरम से शुरू करके तिरुवल्लूर तक डिस्ट्रिक्ट तक ज्यादा विंड होने का संभावना है। सो ये रेनफॉल फोरकास्ट है। एक्सट्रीम हेवी रेनफॉल हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं 4 तारीख को एक्सट्रीम नॉर्थ तमिलनाडु डिस्ट्रिक्ट जो है। स्टॉर्म्स लगभग 1 to 1.5 मीटर हाइट का टाइडल वेव आ सकता है, और ये एस्ट्रोनॉमिकल टाइड जितना आता है इससे ऊपर है ये। और ये टाइडल वेव आपका जो साउथ कोस्ट आंध्र प्रदेश का जो तटीय इलाका है वहां इनंडेशन कर सकता है। सो वी कैन एक्सपेक्ट द इनंडेशन due to the storm surge of about 1 to 1.5 meter in the coastal areas of the south coastal Andhra Pradesh. So sea condition, if you just look at rough to very rough sea condition will prevail over southeast Bay of Bengal today and tomorrow. Over southwest Bay of Bengal till you can expect 3rd December. Over west central Bay of Bengal till 5th of December, you can have the rough to very rough and sometimes the high sea conditions. So along North Andhra Pradesh coast, along South Andhra Pradesh coast, and along Tamil Nadu and Puducherry coast, up to 5th December, the sea condition will be dangerous. Therefore, no fishermen should go into the sea till 5th. So therefore, we have issued a fisherman warning: Southeast Bay of Bengal up to 2nd December, Southwest Bay of Bengal up to 4th December, that is Tamil Nadu Puducherry coast, and West Central Bay of Bengal along the Andhra Pradesh coast from 2nd December to 5th December. South Odisha coast from 4th December to 5th December. And also I told those fishermen who are out at sea, they should return to coast by today, because from tomorrow onwards, even coastal water also will be disturbed. So this is the damage expected. There could be damage to thatcher huts, possibility of damage to vulnerable structures, the hoardings, etc., the old house, etc., breaking of tree branches and operating of small and medium-sized trees. There could be minor damage to power and communication lines, breaking of branches due to breaking branches of trees. There could be major damage to kacha and minor damage to pakka roads due to heavy rainfall. Damage to paddy crops, which are standing crops now, horticultural crops. We have got lot of banana, papaya, coconut, etc. in Andhra Pradesh. There could be huge loss because of this. And orchards, of course. Sea water inundation in low-lying areas, there is possibility, therefore erosion of the kacha embankments. In addition, there could be sea spray also. The sea spray also affects the standing crops and other things. So inundation of low-lying areas in coastal district due to heavy rainfall and flash floods, because we are expecting extreme heavy rainfall, especially for Andhra Pradesh. All districts of Andhra Pradesh, especially south coastal on 3 and 4, and north coastal on 5th. The central part will get in all the days. The occasional reduction visibility will be reduced. Therefore, those who will be traveling, it will be very difficult to see the road. Therefore, we expect that people should not go out during the heavy rainfall period and also during the cyclone period, especially 4th and 5th. So disruption of traffic will be there because of waterlogging and squally winds. So therefore, it is better to avoid the movement during this period. Localized landslides, mudslides, we can expect depending on the susceptibility of the area, because you have got the Eastern Ghat region. So we can expect, especially if you go to the South Odisha and North Andhra Pradesh, we have got the Eastern Ghat, which is prominent in that region. We can expect the localized landslides because of the heavy rainfall due to this particular cyclone. So it may lead to river and flooding also, but we cannot comment upon that. It depends upon the standing water at present, and therefore please follow the flood guidance provided by Central Water Commission. So suggestion is that total suspension of fishing operation. Fishermen out at sea are advised to return to the coast by 1st December, and surface transport and shipping operations need to be regulated. Onshore offshore operations also needs to be regulated as per guidelines. The coastal hotman dwellers to be in safe places, people in affected areas to remain indoors, and avoid going to areas that face the waterlogging problems. Often avoid staying in vulnerable structures. I just want to mention here that just today there has been National Crisis Management Committee meeting headed by Cabinet Secretary and participated by all the state governments and central agencies, including Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Puducherry, and Odisha, and all are taking the precautionary actions to minimize the loss of lives and properties. So thank you very much. Now you can go for questions, if any.
Sir, good evening. Kunal here.
Yeah, Kunalji, good evening.
Good evening. The two things. First, you have forecasted that this time the winters will be less intense. Both the maximum and minimum temperature will be above normal. So, is this due to the El Nino or any other activities are also there, which is affecting the temperatures? Second, is there any forecast for the fog as well? Because the rainfall activities are more in numbers. So, is there any fog, any forecast for fog there?
Yeah, thank you, Kunalji. You have correctly told that yes, we are expecting above normal temperature, both maximum and minimum temperature. But however, maximum temperature we have shown that it is in some pockets in the northern peninsula and central India, it could be the normal to below normal temperature. But in average, for the country as a whole, it will be above normal temperature. So this type of large scale trend, what you see in the month of December forecast, that could be attributed to large scale features. And large scale feature is that the El Nino condition is prevailing, and during El Nino conditions, temperature usually becomes the higher than normal. Number one. So number two is that, as you told, that we will have some kind of regional features also. So regional features like that, you have the western disturbances, and western disturbances cause the cloudiness, and therefore sometimes in certain areas there could be lower than normal minimum temperature. But in general, they predicted that if you have cloudiness, minimum temperature rises. So therefore, minimum temperature rises, and if we look at both rainfall forecast and the temperature forecast, it suggests that there could be higher than normal frequency of western disturbances, or it can be more intense western disturbances, which can lead to rainfall activity over the northwest India and the adjoining central India. Therefore, minimum temperature could be higher than normal. In the peninsular India, yes, El Nino year usually we get normal rainfall activity, and tradition is that the Kerala, Tamil Nadu, etc., will get normal to above normal rainfall activity in the December. So therefore, there also you can expect higher than normal minimum temperatures. So like that, the local features certainly decide apart from the large scale features like El Nino, what you pointed out. The third point is that a tropical cyclone is moving now. A tropical cyclone can have the impact in cloudiness, etc., in peninsular India, eastern India, adjoining central India, and northeast India also. So therefore, it will lead to the rise in minimum temperature, and for temporarily there will be fall in maximum temperature. So what if I compare all these three diagrams, minimum temperature, maximum temperature, and the rainfall forecast? I will say that yes, there will not be more frequent western disturbances, but there could be one or two such western disturbances which can lead to rainfall activity quite high, and at the same time it could lead to the rise in minimum temperature. But maximum temperature will not be affected by that, because many other days maximum temperature can be higher than that. So this is the number one. And the similar is the impact with respect to the tropical cyclone, which is expected to move towards Andhra Pradesh. But fog, as you told, yes, we do not have any such scheme at present to predict the seasonally or monthly the occurrence of fog or its intensity. So it being a phenomena which is not so much large-scale synoptic nature, except the endogenous plains, so it becomes difficult to provide the seasonal or monthly forecast of fog. But still, we are working towards that. But at present, we do not have any such scheme for fog, so we cannot provide you the fog forecast. Am I clear, Tulanji?
Sir, what is the, obviously you don't have a fog forecast as of now. But keeping all these conditions in mind, what is the most likely situation? Will the fog intensity will be more this year, or it will be lesser?
No, it actually is not so easy to say, and you can say infer from indirectly from all these diagrams. It's not so easy, because fog is not a phenomenon which continues like temperature day-wise every day continuously. It occurs in a brief period in a particular day, especially late night and early morning hours, and sometimes in association with the pollutants or smoke. You can say the smog prevails throughout the day in parts of northwest India, but otherwise fog does not continue as such for longer period, which is its another limitation to provide in such type of conclusion based on rainfall. Yes, when there will be rainfall, the next day when western disturbance passes, after the passage of western disturbances, there could be the fall in temperature, there could be the fog. That we know. But how many days that fog will occur, how many western disturbances will occur, that forecast is not there. So therefore, number of fog days or fog hours, we do not have any seasonal forecast or monthly forecast. Okay.
Sir, Sushil asking from Sri Ganganagar, Rajasthan.
Yes, please. बोलिए सुशील जी.
सर अभी आईएमडी जो दिल्ली है उसने भी मीडिया रिपोर्ट्स एज पर मीडिया रिपोर्ट्स के दे आर प्लानिंग जस्ट इंस्टॉलिंग डीडब्ल्यूआर इन श्री गंगानगर डिस्ट्रिक्ट। तो वो कहीं ना कहीं आधुनिक रडार सिस्टम लगाने की प्लानिंग कर रहे हैं कि वाकई में ऐसा है, क्योंकि जो डब्ल्यूडी आ रहे हैं वो वहाँ पे ना तो पटियाला रडार उसको कवर कर रहा है, ना ही दिल्ली वाला रडार उसको कवर कर रहा है। क्या सर ऐसा कुछ आईएमडी का प्लान है कि अभी
हाँ, हमारा
जस्ट
प्लान है। अभी हमारा 86% एरिया ऑफ द कंट्री इज कवर्ड बाय रडार। ओके,
अच्छा सर।
अभी नेक्स्ट 2 to 3 इयर्स में 100% एरिया कवर होने के लिए हम कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
ओके सर।
Okay, so thank you very much. If there is no other questions and comments,
Mahapatra ji, I am Bhatia.
sir, namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar. How are you, sir?
Fine, sir.
Can you ask one question?
Sir.
So, Mahapatra, my question is about the present depression which you mentioned, and you mentioned that system formed on 27th, and it was expected to come to depression by 29th, but it has come today as a depression.
Yes.
My specific question is, what could be the reason for this some disruption in the evolving process of the system? If we see the upper air chart, there's a jet stream to the northeast. Can it have disruptive influence on this kind of systems?
Yes, sir, you have told correctly. Actually, the 25th to 28th, we had the jet stream, and there was interaction between easterly wave and the western disturbance that caused adverse weather over northwest and central India and some parts of eastern India. Our expectation was that that trough when western disturbance, which was associated jet stream, that will move away. It will reach about 80 to 85 degree by 28, and by 29 it will move away. But that did not happen. That trough in westerly moved slowly, and as a result, the jet stream prevailed over the central and northern India, central and north Bay of Bengal. Because of that jet stream, the winds have remained high. Except the southern India, the central and northern India, winds was quite high. So that was not favorable for immediate intensification. And now that jet stream has gone, and system is more favorable for intensification.
See, actually, mid shear, but the specifically mid shear is higher. Wind shear is not that high, but mid shear is higher. So I think it is due to that. We can attribute it to that. Is it?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
So that jet stream, what I am talking about, okay, jet stream usually occurs at 300 HP, 200 HP, but this western disturbance was quite active. Even at 500 HP also, it was 50 knots winds. So therefore, medial levels here also quite high. Medial levels here, to consider 500 HP to 850 HP also quite high. So that was the limiting factor and reason for slow intensification of the system.
Mm-hmm. And Mahapatra, my second question is about this the severity of the weather. As you know, over Gujarat and Maharashtra, 34 people died. Now, if you see Biparjoy, such a big cyclone going to Gujarat, not a single person died. But in a western disturbance, 34 people died. And
Yes.
are you thinking of doing something specifically for this so that the number of deaths are reduced as far as possible?
Yes, sir. If you just look at the success story of cyclone, be it Biparjoy or before many cyclones in the recent 10 years. So what has happened actually? It has been an early warning followed by the early action. So there is a coupling between early warning and early action that we advocate. We are advocate the same thing. We are advocating for other severe weather events like heavy rainfall, lightning, etc. And most of the deaths what has occurred over Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and some other areas, it is mainly because of the lightning, sir. So we have to do a lot of work with respect to early warning, early action. Even though early warning was there, but whether those people who have died, whether they could be triggered, whether they could be motivated to take action, whether they could get the information and take action, that is the question. So therefore, it needs an integral approach by entire community, early warning community, and the disaster risk reduction community, disaster managers at the ground level, and also public awareness and public actions. So towards that direction, just like we have got a National Cyclone Risk Mitigation Project, now government is thinking about something for lightning risk mitigation also. And already we have got the lightning early warning that was going. But actions, I'll suggest, I'll say that we can think of further. Because the awareness itself, even if there is no early warning, the awareness itself can reduce the loss of lives and properties due to lightning. If someone knows what action he has to take if there is a lightning, because lightning does not come unaware like cyclones, etc. It can be noticed if someone is in the field. You can see that cloud is developing, lightning will occur a little far distance, then afterwards it will come to overhead. So therefore, public awareness campaign also needs to be done by each of us.
Thank you, Batra sir. Nice explanation.
Thank you. Okay, so thank you very much. I especially thank all our friends from press and electronic media for their present sharing and support in communicating the informations on weather and climate to all the public. So you are the good support, and we actually enjoy working with all press and electronic media. So thank you very much. We'll meet again towards the end of December for the forecast for January. So thank you very much.